Speak now. There you go.
All
Hello.
right, kid. How you doing?
All right. AI Bros HQ in the
Oh,
building.
yeah, welcome back, everyone. Yeah. So, how's things been with you this week or last week?
Absolutely awesome, our kid. Especially as you know, I do me radio podcast, video podcast, and thanks, the other week where I get very frustrated with band interviews and getting information. It takes ages for me to get accurate, quality, detailed research from for bands. We could put it in ChatGPT, but what I need doesn't give me everything I need in the format I want or the layout that I need that makes it consistent for every band interview. It's been wonderful, really has.
Yeah. So, you're talking about the virtual research assistant.
Yeah, and it's been great because what tends to happen, like a lot of people, creatives, podcasters, the bit we like doing is interviewing the bands. The research we don't like as much, or we might get it wrong. It's not our forte. And what I like about it is I do a lot of my interviews free form, so I don't have loads of questions. I don't have a script. I like to let the conversation flow, but there's elements when I'm either interviewing a difficult guest who's not used to speaking, or my head sort of runs out of ideas at that particular point, and I can quite quickly go and grab something which is either information about the band, so it might be their first single or where they come from, or it could be a serious question or a daft question which puts it back onto the person being interviewed, which is what it's all about, and gives me time to sit back and think, and it just keeps the interview flowing. And I did it last night on a show, and it worked absolutely seamlessly, and I absolutely loved it. There was a point where I was like, "Oh, hang on a minute, what am I going to ask him next?" And I just looked across, asked him a question, and it just kept it going, and then we went down a whole different rabbit hole. It's brilliant.
Yeah. So, how much time do you reckon that will have saved you then?
Well, I don't even think a lot of time. A lot of time that'd take it'd take you hours to pull it all together, but it wouldn't even necessarily be right because you'd have to go away and get all the images, or sometimes the information's not there. You might get information that's on, I don't know, a blog post, and you've got to search through it to find something. But what you've developed gives me a concise list of everything that I'm looking for, rather than, oh, this is the band they've played here, they've done this or whatever. I want specific things for what I believe a good interview with a band is, and I think it's generic for other people. It's exactly the same. They must be needing the same thing.
So, have you found it for bands that are not as popular as like the mainstream ones? Then it's been all right.
Oh yeah, I could give you an example. The band that I interviewed this week, they're not. They've not only just started, but they've not been going years. They're not global stars. They're a band that one or two people know. They do grunge, and to put the band name in and for it to give me an information is great. So if you search for Oasis, they're all over at the minute. They've got a back catalogue as long as your arm. There's everything everywhere. You'll get loads of stuff even if you just go to a Google search. But for me, especially bands that are up and coming, it's it's been really good. It's been really useful. So the band I interviewed yesterday were called Honeycomb, and I put it in and I got loads of information about them, and it was really really interesting.
Can you show us then? Show us the honey. Was it honeycomb? Did you say? Like the bees?
No, Honeycomb.
All right.
And that was one of the questions we asked him: was where does the name Honeycomb come from? And I think they were saying it's a bit like they were thinking in honey badger, but there's other people called honey badger, which is another P for me. They wanted to name this new, so they went, well, let's call it honeycomb, and then we get around that. So anyway, I'm gonna do that now, and then I'll bring it on the screen. So as I type in honeycomb, and I'll literally, as I press enter in your wonderful system, now we will see. Oh, hang on a minute. Why is it not coming up on that? Just hang on a second. It didn't. I've literally just put it in. It's two. This is real time, right? You can't see it at the minute, but it's brought up the band at the top. It's brought me four images. Some on the BBC introducing their Spotify and images of the band. So people that are watching it now. In fact, is what I should have done was brought us in as a little thing, shouldn't I? As I'll bring my face in anyway. So I brought my face in here. So if you look up there, people, Warren will just wait for a minute. It basically says at the top, here's a deep dive into Honeycomb, the Leeds-based three-piece rock alternative grunge. So how you set it up for me is what I wanted. So I've got the band profile there, and it says original members. And this is interesting because when I did it the other day, there was no information about two of the band members, but within a day, they must have got stuff on somewhere, and it started to bring all the band up. And it'll tell you that. So it tells them from Leeds, three-piece alternative indie rock band, Ollie Wilson, da-da-da. Oh, no, it is right, sorry. It tells you about the ones it knows, and this is why you can tell a band is building up. So if this was Oasis, it'd tell you everything about Oasis, but it says the other two are likely bass and drum names not available, which they were. So it knows that. So it's telling you the stuff that it doesn't know, which is great. History story, formed in Leeds. They're a DIY band. I'm scrolling up at the minute while talking about it. I wanted the discography, so it gives you the single EPs, Waking Up, etc., etc., right down to their current one, which is called Y2K, which was released in 2025. That's one reason why I had them on the show. What's their blend, style, and influences? What are their top 5 tracks by popularity? Featured videos with links. Their Honeycombs on Spotify, gig exposure. Bear in mind, this is not a big band, do you know what I mean? Told you where they've been, they're gigging, they've been featured in Peter's Rock News. So any articles, and this is why I bang on to bands about getting on articles so people can find you. Themes and lyrics, what it's about. Then I've got interview questions. I've got 2 sets of interview questions. One are fun and personalised, so it'll ask funny questions about the band. It's in, his little details about it. So it's, covering Royal Blood. Who else are you itching to cover? That's one of the fun ones. Then it's got professional insights. Did playlists support BBC, Spotify X influence your creative decisions? So did playlists, so it's asking them, do those playlists alter it? What challenges do you face releasing music digitally? So really good questions. And then obviously we've got, so what it also gives me, because I want to use this then for social media, for the video that goes onto YouTube. So it gives me social media titles. So it's got tile, Honeycomb Leeds, Grit Meets Grunge, which they are. That is brilliant. Y2K and Beyond, which is their title of their song, Y2K and Beyond, which is brilliant. And then it gives me a description that I can drop in, and I can adjust it or ask it to change it. Raising three-piece lead from. So anyway, it's all there. And yeah, and what we've worked on is to be able to take that and then put it on our website and get a PDF that we can share with other people that we didn't know. So for me, that's just a quick look at it, and that was just one band. I mean, if I typed Oasis in here now, let's see if it does Oasis, right? Let's see Oasis. Straight away, this is real time, people. Oasis. It's not fast forward or anything. So it's analysing, searching the web. It's going everywhere. Oasis deep. It virtually instantaneously. So what I also like this for, and it gives you images at the top, is if I'm, and I'll bring you back on screen now, kid. So it tells you all about Oasis there. Buzz in. Nice one, kid. Right, you're back on screen. What I like about it, so if I'm doing a show and a lot of my bands are not well known, so if it was Oasis, we'll talk about Oasis, I could quite easily bring up some stuff about Oasis because they've been around and I know them. But if I have a couple of contributors on my show and I don't know the tracks they're putting on, and they might put, there's some cracking track artists, so I could actually take halfway through my show and go, oh, they've just put whoever. So let's say it was Honeycomb, so it's a name that we were familiar with now. I could go, oh, what are these about? And I could quickly take Honeycomb, put it in whilst their song's playing and go, I like this, and then quickly tell the audience, right, they're a lead-based band, this is when they formed, this is their latest track, which makes my job as a presenter better because people will be like, wow, the guys even knows about these bands. So I'm sort of lifting a bit behind the curtain here, but that's what's happening in all these big YouTubes, on these TV studios. They've got researchers giving them information, whereas you can't afford to have a researcher getting you information all the time or someone to do it. But you've got your own mini researcher here, and it's amazing what you've produced.
Yeah, and they don't take bank holidays. They're never sick.
No, they never get a bad back like me phoning my boss saying I can't come in today, my back's fell off. Yeah. But it's instant. It's there all the time.
That's the advantage.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, there is some software out there that some radio stations use, and what it does, it provides a sort of Wikipedia link next to the track. But the problem is that's just Wikipedia, and it's just not always one source of truth. This will go and research multiple places. It'll bring down the latest information. So Wikipedia is fine up to a point, but I've been on there a few times and it's not been correct. So this is a total different way because it's coming out in the format you want. If you go for Wikipedia, you might get 5 pages of absolute rubbish that you don't want. This is specific. Plus, it's tailoring it to your question. So I see why you quite like it. Is there any other tweaks to it? I think it's working fine.
it's working fine for now. The next thing I want it, well, the next thing I want to be able to do, because there's a few areas like artists I interview that they just want to produce music and do live shows and be fine. I'm a podcaster. My thing that I like doing is doing a show, interviewing a band. What I don't like, or is time consuming, or I might not give it's not my area of expertise, is research and then taking that and putting it onto our website or onto social media. So eventually, what I want to be able to do is take what we've created, because this is what I would like a blog to look like, with my show, the audio to that show on there, and the interview to the show on there. So if I could get it to the point where I automatically get this on as an API link straight onto the website, publishes it, and maybe it brings me show and all the rest of it eventually. But at least if it can bring this content up, that's going to save me hours. As you know, I'm dyslexic and I'm typing stuff up and get it wrong, and I don't mean to. But it's right. It's the right information. It's pleasing on the eye, and it'll work. And it means for the bands, that's another thing out there that the chatbots are going to be looking for, the chat GPTs of this world and the search engines. Bands need to have their name and their content on websites. So the more I can do this, the better it's for my bands as well. So that's what I'd like it eventually to do, is not to get away from doing stuff. It's actually enhancing, because at the minute I'm not having the physical time to produce the blogs that I've always wanted to produce, and
Yeah.
I've tried to get people to blog for me for 8 years, and no one wants to do it. Right? So if I can do something that no one wants to do, and I've been asking, then
Yeah.
that's going to really enhance what we do and be better for me and better for the band. So that's what I'm after.
Okay, that's great. I'll have a look into that. I'll see what the next stage is. But if you're happy with that one, then that's brilliant. Um, well, I know exactly what you're looking for there. And the beauty of it is I can produce it for the website. You probably won't want to have ask the 20 questions or 10 of each. You can get it so that bit doesn't go on there.
Yes, it's just the salient points that we need. The things that if I was a viewer and I want to know about that particular band, I
Yeah,
don't want to know the daft questions that Kurt's going to ask, or he might have asked, or might not have
yeah,
asked. I just want to know the main bits, and I want
yeah,
to make it, because people have not got time. They don't want to be they don't want to be consuming stuff, reading stuff they don't want to. They're not interested in. They'll just move past it and get bored with it. So you're quite right. It needs to be. That's all the information I need. But when it goes, it needs to go. I'm not really interested in that. I just need to know
yeah,
that, and that. Might only be part of the whole thing, but as a tool for someone who's creating content, it's fantastic, because I've even already taken elements of the thing that comes out, like it might be the description or it's at the top. I'm just scrolling up, profile and background. I did it yesterday. I actually took that and put it straight into X, formerly Twitter,
yeah.
and put an image of the band and a link to the show and said, we're interviewing this band, da da da. So it's giving more touch points for me and for the band. So it's saves me,
Excellent.
it looks more professional, dead easy. So it's amazing. I've been trying to do something like this for years. We should have had this 8 years ago. Where
Well,
have you
we've
been?
been saying we're at a point now, aren't we? This is what's the beauty of it is we've for ages, for years and years, been trying to do automations, trying to do stuff like this. And yeah, you can go and hire a virtual assistant, a real person, but they're not there all the time, and they won't do it exactly how you want it when
No.
you want it. Whereas this is now, I think we've come to a point where the things have come together, where ideas are actually joining now,
Yeah.
where AI is, which is absolutely brilliant. And it can be applicable in a lot of different industries and businesses as well. This particular one, though, it's specific for what you want. It's for the music industry. You know, it's not there to search on. other stars, A-list celebrities, etc.
Yeah, because
But they can
I've
do
tried
it
that and
well.
seen if it'd work. And you've obviously what you've built. I put Joe Rogan in before, and it went. Joe Rogan is not an artist, so basically I've got nothing for you, which is great because what we don't want, and that's why it needs to be specific. We don't want to be putting because on that thing you've created, I can either put the band's name in or drop a Spotify link in, and it comes up with it. What we don't want is if I put Honeycomb in, and there's a famous I don't know, YouTuber called Honeycomb. We don't want all information about he's based in Australia and he does stuff on basket weaving, do it? Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
We don't want that. We want it to be more very precise so that I don't want, or no one else wants to be saying to an artist, oh, I believe you make baskets for in your free time. And he's got, what are you going, I mean, that's not what we want, do it? It makes me look
yeah,
stupid.
exactly. I think one of the concerns normally around AI is that they can hallucinate.
Yeah.
And one of the things with this one is with the research assistant is that specifically is not to hallucinate. It's got to be used verifiable material because I didn't want that. I didn't want it so that you're there with someone and you end up offending them. It doesn't look good for you, does it? So that's part of it as well.
Yeah, you're
So
right. It could be because you could offend people about anything, there's obvious ones out there, but if it threw up, you wanted to know what religion they were, for example, and it can't find information and goes they're a Buddhist and they're not, and you ask them, they wouldn't go down very well, would it?
no, I
So,
wouldn't have thought.
or it can't find any information about where they've played, so it goes, oh yeah, I think they've played at the O2. You know what I mean? Because it's just like I've got to put something in there, so I'm going to
Yeah,
put something in. So it's very powerful because. Yeah, it makes life a lot easier, and I think it's made me more comfortable. I do like doing the lives, and I do like not having a script, but for me, I know straight away looking at it, it reduces me scrolling through things because me producer who does the show gives me loads of information, and I have to scroll through to find it, and it could be different every week depending what she's sending me. So you know what I mean? So I've then got to work out where it is. But when I'm doing a live show, I've not got time to do that, and I'll make mistakes. But with this, I know that that's going to be there, that's going to be there, that's going to be there. So I go, oh, artist profile's going to be right at the top. Bosh, I can scroll up and see it straight away. I know what's going to come next. I know what's going to come after that, and it just makes life so much easier, and I absolutely love it.
great. Okay, brilliant.
So cool.
So what we'll do is we'll work on I'll work on those changes or those adaptations to it, and then we'll get together on the next Zoom and we'll see where we're up to with it.
Excellent, wonderful. Yeah, and we'll have a recap.
Yeah,
Perfect for
brilliant.
now. Hey, yeah, I think that'll do for this part of AI HQ, AI Bros HQ. I'll get the name right in a bit, won't I?